All right, everybody. So hopefully this time I don't need to restart this video. This is the third time you see me with my towel. It's hot in this room, boy. It's real hot in this room, huh? And I can't turn on the fan because the mic would pick up the fan real loud. So, yeah, man. This is Iyanola Vibez. If you were watching the last episode, you know that Iyanola Vibez is when I sit down, talk to you face to face. If you hear those dishes in the background, that's my mom being loud. But, yeah, man, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to talk about some things, as I typically do. And if you're watching this, you're going to listen. All right? It'll be a good time. If you see me with my night shirt, it's because I just came from this funeral which was interesting. It was at a Catholic church, and a lot of people didn't have masks. But, you know, St. Lucia is sort of a COVID haven, so I think we can afford to leave the mask at home. All right. Cool. I wasn't mad. I was just like, all right, that's what we're doing. You know? This is just what we're doing. So we did. I had my mask on, though, because it just didn't feel right. You know, I'm just at the point now where I feel even after COVID, if I'm around a large crowd or something, I'm going to feel like I need a mask. You know? I just will. Now, if you see me looking, it's because I'm a little nervous that my mic will stop. And the last thing I want to do is go out here talking to you all for the next 30 minutes and for there to be no audio. So I'm carefully watching that. But anyway, yeah, I want to talk about a few things. First off, I want to start off with a story. All right, I had an interesting time because I went to this bank because I wanted to make a new bank account. All right, I'm not going to say the name of the bank, but I walk in, everything's fine. You know, you have the lady at the front with the hand sanitizer, the thermometer, the new normal, right? And you know, there was no real line, so I kind of walk up to the front. I walk up to the teller, and I look at him just having a regular day. I look at the man and I say, "Yo, hey man, you know I'm here because I want to make an account today." This is the funny part. The man look at me like, "You want to make an account? Okay." And you could see him kind of, you know, when you're not really sure what to do, so you're kind of panicking, like, okay, normal. Do you have an appointment? And so I look at the man like, no, I wasn't sure that I needed one. Okay, all right. Okay, here's some of the questions that you might need, okay, maybe I can set you up with. So as soon as I started to realize, like, yo, but that man, apparently, because I thought this was so funny that I came back and told my family about it and all that stuff. Apparently, they're making forming a new bank account difficult because Lucians washing money. There's some washing. There's some washing going on with Lucians washing money, boy. Like, apparently, you know, like there's some international organizations, maybe like the IMF and some of these global watchdog groups that getting suspicious at some of the stuff going on in St. Lucia. So I guess they gave some sort of advisory to the banks or something. Because here's the thing. I've made bank accounts before, right? And it's not supposed to be the biggest deal. You walk in, you sign some papers, you show them your ID, you agree to their little requirements and stuff like that, and then you leave. and you eventually get your debit card in the mail, right? And all them things. And the thing is, at the end of the day, the bank is not doing you a favor. You are a customer. They're making money from you. When you give them your money, they use that money as, they do stuff with the money to make money from it, okay? So I was looking at them and like, I'm a client. Y'all going to be making money when I give y'all my money to hold for me. What's the big deal? Yeah. But so the guys washing the money have made it difficult for people in life. So I guess this is what it is now. So now they have to try and make an appointment. They're probably going to take me to Guantanamo Bay. They're going to like the way the man was talking, the interview for this account will be something to behold, because the way he was talking, I can imagine myself strapped to a chair, struggling for, to breathe as they asked me all the questions. And if I answer a question wrong, I might expect a punch under my belly, So, yeah, that was just my experience. So, folks, if you live in St. Lucia, probably even the entire Caribbean, and you need a new bank account, you might as well just put your money under your bed, okay? Where it's safe. Because, that's what the older folks used to do, right? They would put their money in chests and under their bed and stuff like that. And you know what? Maybe they had it right. Maybe they were doing the right thing. Instead of giving your money to a global corporation that doesn't give a crap about you. I'm just saying. All right. Anyway, moving on. I am going to talk about somebody on this episode that I tend to try to stay away from talking about, because everything about Diamond is annoying to me, boy. From the way he looks to the way he talks, to the way he walks, to the everything about David is annoying to me. Trust me, believe me when I tell you this. But yeah, if you're wondering who I'm talking about Trump. Yeah. Diamond boy, here's the thing, right? The reason I'm talking about him is because I only have 2 more episodes, I think, before the election. And if I can just talk some sense into somebody, even if it's one person, maybe, let me grab my towel again. Maybe somebody can make a difference. So here's the thing, right? You might not like Joe Biden. Yes, I'm talking about U.S. politics, because honestly, U.S. politics is global politics, because they own the world. They have over 800 bases around the entire planet. So if you didn't know, now you know. The U.S. empire runs the planet. Anyway, but so you might not like Joe Biden, right? I don't particularly like Joe Biden. I don't even know him, really. Could I do more research and learn more? Probably. Will I, though? That's a good question, boy. But anyway, I've heard people saying, yeah, boy, Joe looking real old, Diamond looking real senior, they gotta trust Diamond to run the country. But, brother man, think of the alternative. Think of the alternative, right? Now, I don't want to be biased, okay? I wouldn't like to say that I really affiliate myself with any American party. But, boss, let's just stop and think. How many more things does this guy have to do before somebody says, or before the general population says, all right, enough. You can't do that. Like, is there nothing? The man grabbing pussies, the man like, there's all these rape allegations. He still refused to release his tax returns. For what reason? The world may or may not ever know. The list just goes on. And the thing is, you might be thinking that at this point, I'm like some sort of person that's always following the news and I'm super engaged on this whole election thing and all that stuff. Not really. This is just for me, like, just being a person that exists in 2020. Like, it's impossible to escape his name. The name Trump. You can't escape his name or hearing more things about him or some foolishness that he did or said. Yeah, but all that being said, I do want to add that we will be studying Trump in political science classes and all stuff like that for the next century or 2 or 3, because I think he's like a failure of democracy. And I know you're saying, nah, but Keddy boy, but people voted for the man. How you going to say he's a failure of democracy, but, you know, he's what the people wanted? Not really. I mean, he lost the popular vote. So an argument could be made that he shouldn't be president, period. But then, aside from that, people that vote politically tend to vote from emotion, not necessarily this. So now I know I've gotten very political on this episode, but I can do that because you can't stop me right now because this is pre-recorded. But anyway, moving on. I want to move on. I just wanted to vent about that because, yeah, it's a critical thing, man. And people talking like, yeah, boy, if they give Damon a second term. Yo, if you give Damon a second term, Damon have no more checks and balances, you know. Damon have nothing to stop him now, you know. Yeah. Give Trump a second term and watch the massacre Damon going to do there. Trust me. It's going to be something else. But anyway, moving on. In this next episode of Family Reflections, no, I'm not confused between what I'm doing. I know this is Iyanola Vibez, right? But in the next episode of Family Reflections, which is a separate show, if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. We do it bi-weekly, so twice a month, roughly. We're going to be talking to a sexual health expert, right? And I just want to talk about, how people get strange when you start talking about sex. What is really going on with that? Like, I'm not just talking about children in the... Hold on, sorry. I'm not just talking about children in their teens or like children in elementary school, primary school. Oh, man. I have these sinuses that sometimes come in, make me want to sneeze. But yeah, I'm talking about grown adult people start getting uncomfortable when you talk about sex. And here's my problem with that. These grown adult people have children. And they have families and they're married and all this stuff. But you can tell, like, there's still, like, a shift in the room, you know, when you mention just the word sex, like, boy, people are like, oh, boy, this is inappropriate. What's going on with that? I think you would think by now in 2020 that we would have gotten over some level of the taboo associated with that, right? But what I'm really thinking of is, where does the taboo really come from? Is it because I think a long time ago, maybe not even that long ago, people saw sex as this dirty thing, or people probably still see it that way, or like, it's this thing that you should pretend never happens, like all the what's the story? All the geese. Is it geese that drop the children from the sky? There's a bird that they would say would be like, you know, in the cartoons you'd see the bird with the child in the bag, and that bird would drop the child on the doorstep of whatever parent. And that's what they used to tell some children back in the day, is how kids were created. So is that, like, all of that shows that people back then really did not want to talk about sex. I don't know. I feel like we should try our best to get away from that. Something I wonder about is, if I have a child, right? When would I start to talk to that child about sex? Because my parents, in their own way, did their best, you know, to, like, make sure I was educated enough not to be a jumbie and make stupid decisions. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I might be a little more bold with my children and tell them, as soon as they come out the womb, tell them, you see that womb you came out of? You see that womb you came out of there? Yeah. So I'm your father and I'm the one that put you in there. Let me tell you how it works. No, seriously, like, I feel like maybe from an early age, if you establish that, yeah, man, this is what sex is, this is how you came to be, we love you, we appreciate you, and we want to make sure that, you know, if you ever end up making another person, that it's with somebody that you love dearly and you're in a committed relationship. I don't know. Just my thoughts about it. I think the taboo is ridiculous and that we should get away from that. It might take a while, though. Yeah. It might take a while. Yeah, man. The other thing, I have a lot of things to talk about. And as a host, I guess, on this show, I have to make sure that my transitions are right, and, you know, I'm making sure that, you know, I lead into the next topic with this topic. But that's hard to do, and sometimes I mess up. So sometimes I just hop to the next topic. But anyway, the next topic here is balance, huh? You might be wondering what I mean by balance. I have a very busy life. Here's what I mean by that. Let me take my towel to tell y'all. So in addition to Iyanola Pictures, I'm doing something called Lucian Musicians. And Lucian Musicians is a platform for Caribbean instrumentalists. And by Caribbean instrumentalists, I mean everywhere, not just St. Lucia. And yeah, so I actually host shows there in addition to Iyanola Pictures. So I'll be doing like the Green Room, which is a podcast where I have instrumentalists from across the Caribbean. Then after that, I have Lucian Musicians Favorites, where I try to speak directly to featured musicians on the platform. And then right after that again, I have Family Reflections, which is happening bi-weekly. Then I go into this, Iyanola Vibez, which is one of my favorites because there's not a lot of preparation I need to do for this. I can just sit down and talk to y'all. And that's not very time intensive, except for the editing, because I like to show y'all all the nice pictures and all them things. But yeah, in addition to all those things, I may 90% on a 9-to-5 job, or 8-to-4, however you like to say it. So I'll be starting that soon, thankfully, right? But that just leaves a lot on my plate. And in addition to all these things, there are some other business ventures that I want to pursue, because I'm an entrepreneur. Yo, believe it or not, for the last I'm 28, so for the last 27 years of my life, I could not say the word entrepreneur. I'm entrepreneur. I'm still flubbing with it. But yeah, I literally just learned how to say it. And I'm proud of that. But anyway, so I have a lot of entrepreneurial pursuits that I want to be doing. And lately, people in my family have been talking to me about the need for balance. And I agree with them. I completely agree, because the thing about life is, right, you never want to lose yourself in your pursuits or lose yourself in your work or lose yourself in anything that pulls you away from what matters most. And what matters the most in life, in my humble opinion, from my research, is relationships. People. The people around you, your family, your loved ones, treating those people well, making those people happy. That's what matters the most. And the thing is, as much as I have grand visions and things that I want to do, things that I want to get done, I have to ensure that I still have a life, right? And I know you're thinking, what life? You need no life. Check what I'm telling you. I need you on this show talking to me. And what I want is free content, free entertainment. Nah, man. But yeah, the thing is, I'm of the opinion that it's possible for me to manage my time well enough to do my exercising, do my practicing of my instruments, and do all the shows that I just told you all about, and still get all of that done while maintaining a life. That's my theory. And I think I can. And you on the other end probably saying, boy, that man must burn out soon. Here's what I do to try not to do that, right? I turn off. And you're probably thinking, turn off? What do you mean turn off? What I mean by turn off is, if I am not on a particular task, I make sure that I'm not really devoting mental energy to that task. So I try to keep things in boxes, right? So if I'm working on Iyanola pictures, I'm in the Iyanola box. Yeah? Now, there's knowledge and experiences that can transfer from other boxes, like the Lucian Musicians box or one of my other entrepreneurial boxes. But for the most part, I try to keep things separate. And then, if I'm not working on any of those things, I just close all the boxes. So then it's just me cooling out, being myself, having fun, whatever. So now I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that always works 100% of the time perfectly. It doesn't. But when it does, right? So I'm going to try my best to make sure that I maintain balance and time for fun and relationships and everything, in spite of all the work that I want to do, all the visions that I want to execute on. And you're going to be around to see it. All right? How do you feel about that? You feel good? So, yeah, it should be a good ride. And I'm looking forward to it. I feel like as much as 2020 has been traumatic for the globe, for me, it's been bittersweet, because I feel like in 2020, more than any other year in recent memory for me, I've really put my feet down and kind of grabbed the bull by the horns when it comes to what I really want to do, what I really want to work on, and the life that I really want to live. So, yeah, cheers to 2020 vision. Oh, gosh, boy. Yeah, what else do I have to tell y'all? I'm 24 minutes in. It might be the end for me. I feel like I'm forgetting. Yo, dengue. Yo, before I get off this episode. Yo, so all of a sudden, right? Out of the blue, I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago, everybody in Lucia started having dengue, boy. And I got the dengue. It actually happened one night. I was editing a Family Reflections episode. And I wasn't really sleeping much that night because the software I was using was giving trouble. And so, yo, I was like getting up, working for 1-2 hours, taking a little nap, then getting up again. And then while I was doing that, I started to feel hot, boy. Like, what? Oh gosh, boy. Like, I started feeling a little hot. All right. But I was so focused on my work that I wasn't really paying attention to that. Then the next day, I thought I was feeling terrible because I hadn't had a lot of sleep. So I was just kind of groggy, and I still was feeling like hot, and like everything was like my skin was sensitive and stuff. And then that afternoon, my sister takes my temperature, and I was running a high, nearly seizure level temperature. Yeah, boy. So yeah, that wasn't fun. I had the diarrhea. I didn't have any like puking or vomiting or anything, so, but it was rougher. Weakness, like your whole body just retires, bro. Like if you feel you have muscles, you can lift anything again. Your joints start to hurt you, and yeah, man, these mosquitoes evil. You know what is the purpose of having mosquitoes in this world? Somebody message me. Email iyanolapictures@gmail.com and try to convince me of the purpose of a mosquito. What's... Yo, if you haven't seen, I did a little comedy sketch about a mosquito. Fun fact for the viewers, the mosquito in that sketch is actually my mother. Yeah, so we had fun recording that, and I'm looking forward to all the other comedy sketches that we're going to be doing, because we're going to keep hitting you with them. Just laugh. Yeah, laugh. But yeah, man, this has been fun. We're 27 minutes in. You can call it 30 minutes if you want. I try to do 30 minutes per episode. If I don't. But give thanks. Appreciate you. And yeah, see you again next month on the next episode of Iyanola Vibez.